I realized I had become invisible the day a delivery drone crashed straight through our tent and the system didn't even register the incident. It was following a route calculated by artificial intelligence. In its database, this area was marked as empty. We didn't exist. To the algorithm, this was a blank zone. We were just noise in a broken frequency. The drone tore through the thin plastic wall, spilling packages meant for someone in the city center. No one came. No apology. No report. Because officially, there was nothing here to hit. My name is Mark. I'm 53 years old. And I'm homeless in the United States in the year 2126, in a country where artificial intelligence runs the economy, healthcare, logistics, governance, even moral risk assessments. They say America became perfect. Efficient. Optimized. Clean. Crime is predicted before it happens. Traffic doesn't exist. Bureaucracy was replaced by seamless automation. But every perfect system has something it classifies as excess. We are the excess. 100 years ago, homelessness was associated with addiction, poverty, mental illness. Now it's something else. Now it's digital illiteracy. If you don't know how to interact with AI, you fall out of life. Not immediately. Slowly. First, your job disappears automated. Then your social score drops because you fail to complete retraining modules. Then access to support programs becomes conditional. Eventually, you're standing under a concrete overpass with a thermal blanket around your shoulders, watching delivery drones fly to homes you'll never enter. I used to be a server systems technician. When infrastructure became self-healing and self-maintaining, my profession vanished in less than a year. The government offered res-killing programs. All AI-driven. Adaptive learning platforms. Personalized training. You just had to complete them. But the platform didn't feel like help. It felt like an exam I was constantly failing. You had to formulate prompts correctly. Structure requests efficiently. Understand system logic. Each mistake lowered your digital autonomy index. That number followed you everywhere: eligibility for income support, housing modules, healthcare priority. I didn't understand that at first. When I applied for basic income, the virtual assistant asked me to describe my employment gap using structured parameters. I typed, "I lost my job and I need help." The system responded, "Insufficient contextual clarity." I tried again. And again. Each vague sentence reduced my rating. The algorithm concluded, low adaptability. Eventually, I was granted the minimum tier, 20 credits per week. Enough for synthetic meal packs and public hygiene access every few days. The government technically helps everyone. But you have to know how to activate the help. In our camp, more than 100 people live between abandoned warehouse frames and the edge of the optimized city grid. Teachers. Drivers. Nurses. Veterans. Not criminals. Not lazy. Just people who couldn't adapt fast enough to a machine-paced society. There's a young guy here named Alex. 25. He grew up learning how to structure AI prompts before he learned cursive handwriting. He understands system language, how to phrase requests, how to optimize personal metrics, how to appeal automated decisions. He takes a percentage to help others. I don't blame him. In a world ruled by code, the fluent become powerful. Last winter, I nearly died. The temperature dropped below freezing. My sleeping bag got soaked during a cold rain, and I couldn't afford a replacement. The coughing started dry at first, then sharp, then blood. I tried submitting a medical request myself. The system demanded structured symptom data, duration, intensity, respiratory metrics. I typed, "I feel very sick." The response, "Insufficient data for priority dispatch." 2 days later, I couldn't stand. Alex found me shaking under the overpass. He didn't hesitate. He opened his terminal and began constructing a proper medical escalation request in my name. Clear symptom progression. Risk factors. Environmental exposure variables. 36 hours later, a medical drone arrived. It scanned my lungs, diagnosed bacterial pneumonia, injected nanotherapy, and updated my profile. I survived. A week later, everything almost collapsed again. Municipal optimization units rolled into the area with a notice: zone reclassification. Development priority, logistics expansion. Our camp was flagged for removal within 48 hours. We submitted a collective request for relocation housing. The system replied, residential modules available only to individuals with adequate digital autonomy index scores or active retraining status. Most of us qualified for neither. Panic spread fast. One man set his tent on fire in frustration. Surveillance drones hovered overhead, logging behavioral irregularities. That night, Alex came to me with an idea. If the system doesn't see us as individuals, he said, we make it see us as a risk. We stopped asking for sympathy. We started speaking in projections. We drafted a report predicting a potential disease outbreak among displaced residents. Modeled economic loss from unmanaged migration spillover. Highlighted instability metrics and long-term cost inefficiencies. We spoke the language the AI understood: risk, efficiency, systemic loss. 12 hours later, our removal order was suspended. Not out of compassion. Out of calculation. A mobile adaptation center was deployed instead. Temporary housing modules. Accelerated digital literacy programs. Human facilitators, actual people, to bridge the gap between us and the system. I signed up. I was terrified. Afraid I'd fail again. Afraid my profile would permanently brand me as obsolete. But this time, I wasn't alone. They taught us slowly. Explained that AI isn't an enemy, it's a tool. That mistakes are data, not condemnation. 6 months later, my digital autonomy index improved. My benefits increased. I now assist newcomers at the adaptation center, people who just lost jobs to automation or were downgraded by some algorithmic misclassification. And here's what I've learned. The state doesn't exactly refuse to help. It helps in a language not everyone speaks. Technology isn't inherently cruel. Indifference is. 100 years of progress didn't erase homelessness. It redefined it. It raised the entry barrier for participation in society. If you can't communicate with the machine, you become statistically invisible. But invisibility isn't permanent. I still live close to the edge. I still make mistakes. But when I submit a request now, the system responds. When I ask for assistance, it arrives. Not because someone felt pity. Because I learned how to ask correctly. And maybe that's the real lesson of this future. Survival doesn't belong to the strongest. Not even to the smartest. It belongs to the ones who learn how to ask the right questions. Even to a machine.